untuk mengelakkan ini, kita akan impactkan 13 ni. Jadi setelah kita bincang, kita rasa mungkin tidak sesuai untuk kita efek 13 rumah teres di situ. Jadi kita masih tetap dengan plan asal kita untuk melalui di bangunan MCA. Ini satu lagi keratan, pergi balik, pergi balik. Ya, you can see this is AA, BB, kita akan tengok AA ya. Ini laluan sekarang, ya, di mana dia melanggar di sebahagian dari bangunan MCA. Dan ini kalau kita ubah di sini, where jarak antara bangunan MCA dengan tepi parapet ini 3.1 meter. Next. And BB, kalau kita ikut situ, then this one terlampau dekat. Bila dia less than 6 meter, we have to acquire these houses. Dan so 13 terrace houses ini akan acquire kalau kita injakkan sedikit supaya tidak mengenai bangunan MCA. Ya. Next. Ya, jadi kalau kita tengok impact seperti yang saya katakan tadi, di mana laluan MRT lalu, yang ini telah dibuktikan di negara-negara lain seperti Singapura, you can see in Hong Kong, you can see in London. There will be development following. It's like a river. When the river flows, the economy, the development also will flow. Yeah. So untuk kawasan Kajang, kita akan ada 3 stesen utama. Satu di Saujana Impian, di mana akan ada terdapat parking facilities untuk 500 kereta. Tapi di dalam Bandar Kajang tak ada parking, pasal kita tak mahu menambahkan jumlah kereta terlampau banyak masuk ke Bandar Kajang. Tapi itu dia akan serve traffic from Bandar Kajang, Jalan Semenyih dan Sungai Tua. Dan di stesen Kajang, which connected to the commuter, kita akan ada parking lot untuk 1,200 kenderaan. Tapi kita harapkan setelah MRT ini beroperasi, rakyat Malaysia akan menukar tabiat kita. Sebab kita sekarang ni memang nak pergi mana-mana pun suka bawa kereta. Jadi we want to encourage later for people to leave their car at home and use the feeder buses or the shuttle to actually go to the station. Ya, sebab kalau kita tengok impact MRT, satu kereta api mempunyai 4 gerabak dan dia boleh membawa 1,200 penumpang. Jadi kalau katakan 1,000 kereta boleh ditinggalkan di rumah, jalan-jalan raya kita ni lebih boleh bernafas. Macam sekarang kalau kita tengok di Kajang pun, waktu pagi dan waktu petang dah terlalu jam. Nak parking di Bandar Kajang ni almost impossible nak cari parking ya. Jadi kalau dengan adanya sistem MRT ni, bukan sahaja membantu aliran trafik di Kajang, tapi juga meningkatkan potensi ekonomi di Kajang dan membolehkan orang daripada luar datang ke Kajang dengan mudah. Kalau kita tengok laluan tadi, daripada hujung Sungai Buloh ke Kajang hanya memakan waktu 88 minit. Ya, 88 minit siapa yang nak ambil line dari hujung ke hujung lah. Tapi kalau daripada tengah-tengah bandar KL ke Kajang hanya 30-35 minit sahaja. Maksudnya siapa yang kerja di Kuala Lumpur akan dapat menikmati kemudahan ini. Pada waktu ini kita masih bertuah sebab kerajaan memberi subsidi petrol. Dan tahun lepas saja subsidi petrol 11 bilion, nombor 10 hingga 11 bilion. Ya, 20 bilion. Depending on the harga. Jadi kalau adanya ini, waktu kerajaan mungkin boleh menjimatkan dari segi subsidi. Ya. Okey. Next. Okey, untuk hari ini saya ada technical team bersama saya, Sengkor from our technical team, and then Miss Audrey, which is our chief architect. Yeah. So dia ada di sini. Kalau ada apa-apa soalan tentang projek ini, kita bukalah untuk soalan tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sekiranya hendak mengetahui lebih lanjut tentang projek ini, terutamanya di Kajang, ya. Okey. Lain kalau ada.
Hi, Joseph from the staff. Because the MCA building had to be sacrificed, so what sort of compensation is MCA getting from this?
Yeah, we actually will pay them whatever the fair compensation, because Jabatan Penilaian akan menilai nilai bangunan ini dan juga nilai tanah, dan mereka akan membuat satu award lah. Ya, jadi dua-dua penilaian ni yang akan dilakukan, lepas tu mereka akan di compensate sebagaimana yang cara-cara yang biasa lah untuk bangunan-bangunan yang diambil untuk projek MRT.
Do you have a figure of compensation?
They are still discussing, so I don't have the figure, but as soon as we have the figure, I think maybe you can check with the owner how much they are actually getting for
I think we are at the final stage of finalizing the figure, but I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to MCA Ulangat, our Kajang quarter. Actually, we just view it near completion already, and we know that members in Ulangat MCA also were waiting to have this new building for a long time, but we sacrifice for the sake of the public, especially the 28 shop houses. If you have to remove them, if not, then you have to remove the other 13 what we call terrace house. It's something that someone needs to sacrifice. I mentioned already. There is no such thing that you can, unless you build in the sky, you see. So we can't. We have to be realistic. Human being lah. Kita tiap hari untuk makan nasi, because so there's no such thing as Superman. We want to take this opportunity lah on behalf of the Malaysian government to say thank you to MCA Ulangat, the members, the pemimpin for your understanding. It's not easy a decision to make, but somehow we need to go ahead lah. We don't want projects to delay too long, because we want to complete in the year 2016, 2017. So government spending cost of close to in the region of around 35 billion for this project. Is a big money. So this is something that we hope members understand. Especially we hope that those owner of the 28 shop houses and the 13 terrace houses and the tenant or the owner, we hope they also understand MCA has sacrificed. We hope that they know what to do at a later stage when there's a big day, you see. So this is something reciprocate in life, win-win lah. We know that we have to sacrifice, but that will hinder our progress of our works over here. But anyway, it's for the sake of the public, for the sake of the interest of the people in Kajang.
So as a result of the HQ and this building had to be sacrificed?
So you have to do it in a new location?
We have to find a new location and to what we call define a new location, and maybe to rebuild or buy over other premises, because we have to be flexible on that in life.
And at present, where is MCA as a headquarters?
At the moment we are.
Actually, currently we are renting a shop lot in section 10 of Jalan Bukit pada Kajang, just next to the common school.
When was the MCA building supposed to have been completed?
The MCA building should be complete in this, actually, if not affected, be completed like. It's completed.
It's already completed.
You see, when you see the picture, is 90% completed, and we have been stopped for a few months.
So when were you notified that the MRT was supposed to pass through?
In fact, they have came to my office also. We have been in discussion. We are trying to find ways to getting all the technical experts to look through it, the architect and the engineers to look through it. I think technically we find that, I mean, there's the only way that we can go about. I mean, we do understand, because for me, I'm myself an engineer, and know that things are, I mean, we have to really simplify from some parties.
From your quality management, you see the EMP and PMP, is your MRT prepared to have a 24 hours information hotline and emergency hotline? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Our people stationed in that particular area, and we have also our hotline, which is 24 hours, and we have also MRT information center tak jauh dari sini di bangunan Jalan Metro Avenue. Ya, kita ada MRT. Kalau apa-apa yang berkenaan dengan projek ini, boleh pergi di situ, dan kita ada officer kita yang akan mengambil maklumat. Tapi dalam proses pembinaan, wakil kontraktor juga akan ada di situ untuk mengawasi perjalanan projek ini. Kalau ada apa aduan daripada penduduk ataupun pengguna, sila gunakan talian yang akan diberikan kelak. Ya, buat masa ni package V8, which is untuk Kajang, belum lagi di-awardkan. Kita ada package daripada V1 hingga V8. Semua yang ketujuh tu sudah di-award, cuma Kajang saja belum. Kajang yang terakhir, ya, sebab kita pun dah finalize the design, then we will award. Once it's awarded, then you will know the contractor, dan kita akan ada satu lagi sesi bersama penduduk untuk menerangkan jadual kerja dan siapakah contact person kalau diperlukan. Ya, jawapan dia ya. Ya.
What do you think is the traffic impact going to be like as a result of this realignment, as opposed to the original alignment?
During construction, I think this will be less, because if you see that the original alignment actually going through the main road and the main thoroughfare in the city. Kalau tengok this yang hijau ni laluan asal. Jadi kita perlukan juga kita punya lay down area. Yeah, that's why these 28 houses, part of it, this road definitely part of it will have to be closed lah for the lay down area. Berbandingkan dengan laluan ini, di mana dia sebenarnya tidak mengganggu laluan trafik sangat, ya. Jadi definitely in term of the two alignment, this is more friendly for the traffic situation in Bandar Kajang. Tapi selepas laluan ini ada di sini, jadi kita rasa mungkin pembangunan pun akan membangun di sekitar ni. Jadi dia akan mengalihkan trafik yang sekarang ni bertumpu di kawasan ini ke stesen. Bila lebih ramai penduduk di Bandar Kajang menggunakan stesen dan juga perkhidmatan MRT di sini, Sarjana dan juga di atas, kami menjangkakan kepadatan trafik keluar dan masuk ke Bandar Kajang akan dapat diperbaiki.
If it did not go through the MC building, where it would have sacrificed the terrace houses, you said earlier that it affect the RTM building. Would the RTM building would have to make way as well if you went on with that? If you did sacrifice it?
These edges here, some part of the building will have been affected, but I think it's not the main building, not the tower. Yeah, but some of the admin building already been there. So this would have been easier. I think we can talk with RTM, but the issue that this part. I mean, because you have to follow through, and this is the part that is a bit difficult. RTM, I think we can still talk to them, because we can manage and do that. But here, this is have a real impact on the life of the residents.
So where the station is currently sitting on, what land is that?
The station ini duduk di Dewan
MPKJ.
MPKJ.
MPKJ land.
Ya, MPKJ land.
So,
Dewan itu akan di
involve Kajang. We hope that MRT will give job opportunity lah to our people in Kajang lah, supplier, makanan, all this kita pasang lah orang di Kajang, so that Kajang economy will improve. Ini you don't know inform outside lah, give Kajang people a chance kita harap lah. And then if you want to employ people, put advertisement here lah, tengok siapa yang duduk Kajang can come and work for the project. Okay. There's also a depot, a place where they keep all this maintenance, all this. So I think it will help Kajang economy as a whole. So I think it's something that is good.
So as a result of the second approved alignment, the new one, is it more expensive to compensate MCA building as compared to the initial one, the cost involved? So line 1 or line 2 is more expensive now?
That point of view, I think the 28 shop lots have more social economic impact. I would say. I think in terms of the cost of the building and the land is just brick and mortar. But I think we're looking at life, for people trading. But some of them have been there for